All right, so we are moving into coordinate plane. Obviously, you guys, I know for a fact, learned about quadrant 1 last year. We're going to be talking about all 4 quadrants. If you look at our essential question, it says, how do we use prior knowledge of number lines to help us understand a coordinate grid / plane? Because sometimes people call them coordinate grids, sometimes they call them coordinate planes. They're the exact same thing. All right, we have to get through the activities today in order to be able to do our activity for tomorrow. So for tomorrow, what I would like for you guys to be able to do is build, how many of you guys have ever played Battleship? Okay, so what we're essentially doing is building Battleship layouts, and then you're gonna play against each other. But if we don't get through all of this today, we can't do that tomorrow. Okay, that is my goal for tomorrow. That is how we are going to practice plotting points in all 4 quadrants. But if we don't get through this and you don't understand, there's no way we can do that. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
So I need you to follow along. I need you, yes, ask questions, but make sure they're not like trying to be silly questions. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
All right, so this is the first test. So essentially you have 2 pieces of paper. This is where I struggle because technically we should be using this one. What do you notice about these 2 pieces of paper? River?
One has the words and letters on
Right. So technically we should be using this one, but we're gonna like mix the 2. Okay? So because I need you to have understandable handwriting, you are cutting out the top of this one and the quadrant or the coordinate grid on this one. So this top piece gets cut out. Now, when you cut this out, everyone do not move, just pay attention. You are cutting out just the rectangle. Do not cut any flaps or anything. We're just cutting rectangles. For this one, you're just cutting out this rectangle. That is it. Take the 2 pieces of paper with the extra and put it just in the middle of your table. Do not worry about throwing it away. All right, you have 1 minute to cut these 2 things out. Go. Stop talking. God, no. All right. The next part, you are only gluing on the top flap. So essentially you're just putting a little bit of glue across the top, and then you're gonna glue this down right underneath your title. Same thing for the coordinate plane. and then glue it down. Now, since this is glued down, you can now cut your flaps. That way there's no way you're gonna cut them completely off because it is glued on your paper. So now you should have 4 flaps, and then you should have 1 flap down here. When you are finished, stand up so that I know. About 20 more seconds and then we're gonna get started. Ten seconds. 5, 3. Alright, so looking at the coordinate grid, we're going to start with that across the top. Across the top, I want you to write, obviously, coordinate grid / plane. Alright, flip it up. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Draw a outline so that you don't write outside of it. So that way when you lift it up, you have your box that keeps you from writing too far out. Alright, so a coordinate plane is a plane divided into a grid by 2 number lines. And then when you do your 2 number lines, you form quadrants, and that is the 4 sections of the coordinate plane They're numbered with Roman numerals, so please make sure you write them with Roman numerals. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. they start in the upper right-hand corner and go counterclockwise. Alright, give me a thumbs up when you have this written. You can grab one of these chairs and move closer. Just grab a clipboard, grab a chair, move closer. So again, thumbs up when you are finished. That way, that way. Or push it out of the pen. Just don't have the iPad on. All right, so go ahead and fold your, I'll give you my notebook for the rest of it. Okay. So go ahead, fold your quadrant, flap down. Add a little bit of color to this top part. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just add some color so that you have, do you need color or do you have it?
Oh, color pencil. Oh, yeah.
All right, so it told us that we have two number lines that divide it into 4 sections essentially. So with that being said, what is our horizontal line? What is our horizontal line? Cooper. This is our x-axis. Okay? What is our vertical line? Jackson. Y-axis. Now, we start in the upper right corner. What is the name of that quadrant? What's the name of that quadrant, Cooper?
Quadrant 1.
Yes. So this is quadrant 1. Please use the Roman numerals. Now, what do you notice about all of these numbers to the right and all of these numbers up? So the numbers that are bordering quadrant 1, what do you notice about them? Yeah.
They're all above negative, or they're all above 0, not under 0. They're all
So they're all positive, right?
Yeah.
So our x coordinates are positive and our y coordinates are positive. All right, so now we go this way. And I apologize for my non-straight-ish line that you can't see. So now we're going this way because we go counterclockwise. We go the opposite way the clock moves. So then what is our upper left quadrant? What is our upper left quadrant? Christian? Yes. All right, so this is quadrant 2. And what do you notice about the numbers on the x-axis and the numbers on the y-axis that border quadrant 2? What do you notice about them? Gabriel?
The x-axis numbers are negative and the y-axis numbers are positive.
Yes, perfect. And this is going to come in handy later. Okay, but it's good to start looking at your numbers and realizing, okay, these are positive, this is negative, so on and so forth. All right, so then we keep going down, and what do we know about the bottom left? What's the name of our bottom left? Joseph.
Quadrant 3.
So quadrants. 3. And what do we know about our, totally just had a brain fart. Our ordered pair or our coordinates, what do we know about those? River, both negative, and then we go all the way back over here. And this last quadrant, sorry, you can't see my little arrow thing. This last quadrant is obviously what quadrant? Jeremiah?
Quadrant 4.
Quadrant 4. And what do we know about our, or what do we notice about our coordinates? Mason? So which one is plus, which one's negative? What's the first one called? So like your first number in your ordered pair is what? The x or the y?
Oh, the x.
Okay, so you said the x is positive, the y is negative?
Yes.
Okay. And then obviously you would just start with it. All right, give me a thumbs up when you have this information written down. All right, let's go ahead and slide up to these 4 right here. So for the top 4, 3 of them, you're gonna color the exact same color. So your x-axis, your y-axis, and your origin. Why do you think those 3 are all essentially kind of together? Like if you had to guess, why do you think? Michaela?
Because they all relate.
They all, yep, they all relate, and they, without them, without our x-axis, or without our y-axis, or without our origin, do we have a coordinate plane or coordinate grid? No. All right, so flip up your x-axis. And we kind of already talked about it a little bit, but this one's pretty easy. It's the horizontal number line. The horizontal number line.
Should we flip it up and write that? Oh, flip it.
Yeah, flip it up. If you, yeah, so it should be like, you flip it up. All right, and then pick any color you want to represent your x-axis. So now we know that, technically we know the x-axis is our horizontal line. So on your coordinate grid down here, you're gonna make it the same color that you just made it on your little flip things. So if I did blue up here, I'm doing blue down here. Does that make sense? For the x-axis, yes. All right, now let's talk about the y-axis. The y-axis, if the x-axis is the horizontal number line, what do you think the y is, Jackson?
That's just the vertical number line?
Yep. All right, so it's the vertical number line. And again, picking a color that's different from what you've used, you're going to kind of outline it there, which means you're going to outline it down here. Okay, you can use these if you want. Alright, so the origin is essentially the center or the starting point of your coordinate grid. So starting point So starting point of your coordinate plane, and the coordinates are 0, 0. So for me, I would pick kind of a color that's going to stand out a little bit. Whatever color you feel like is going to stand out. All right, now your coordinates. We talked a little bit about this, but the first letter, the first number is always your x coordinate. The second number is always your y. So no matter where you are, it's always first, second. You always go left, right first, then you go up, down second. Now for each one of these coordinates, you need to have a different color. Yeah. Alright, so go ahead and decide now what each coordinate or order pair is going to be what color, and just color in that little, so you know what you're going to be using. You what? Alright, and then the last thing, once you've got these colored, an ordered pair is a set of two numbers that represent a location on a coordinate Alright, stand up when you have that done. Alright, so these colors that you put over here for your coordinates, those are the colors that you are going to be using for when you put them on your graph. So looking at the first one, whatever color you use for that first one, raise your hand. So the order here is 2, 3. So raise your hand and tell me which direction I'm going, and then which direction I'm going. Corbin.
You're going over 2 and up 2.
Over to, what do you mean over to, like to the left 2 or to the right 2? Alright, so I'm gonna go 1, 2, and then you said up 3? 1, 2, 3. So that is my first point. And my coordinates for that one are 2, 3. Yes, I want you to draw the hops. No, I don't care if you don't want to. Alright, the next one. -4, 3. Alright, Michaela?
So you go to the left 4 and then up 3.
Alright, and that is my second point. Alright, my third point. The third point is -1, -2. Alright, Cooper?
You would go to the left 1 on
Okay.
quadrant 3, and then you would go down 2.
That is my third point, so -1, -2. And then my last point is 4, -5. Alright, Mason?
You go to the one on the bottom, and you go over.
Nope. Gotta go X first, then Y.
Over 4 times the left.
This way?
No.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, okay.
And then you go 5 times that.
And that one is for -5. Alright. So at this point, we are done with that set of notes. And you're gonna get your next set of notes. These will not take us that long. I would recommend keeping your colors out. Do not talk. Do not. Okay, so that was just kind of getting familiar, refreshing our brains on plotting the points and just the information about the coordinate grid itself. Now, slide over to your right page, and that is where we are going to put this information. So this has to do with polygons on the coordinate plane. And we are essentially moving in that direction. You are going to be plotting points, you're going to be forming shapes, and you're eventually going to be finding the area of those shapes. So that's kind of where we're going. So I did want to front load you a little bit with just a little bit of information about that. We are going to do a whole lesson, but I just kind of wanted to give you kind of like an intro in a way. So essentially this is just going to be quick notes on polygons on the coordinate plane. So for number 1, it says blank the ordered pair. What do you think you have to do there? Jackson. What did you say?
Like mark them or plot them.
Yes, plot. So you're going to plot the ordered pair. They are the vertices of your polygons. Raise your hand real quick and tell me, what is vertice? What is the vertice? Caleb.
They're like corners, or like, where we're putting the dots on the grid.
I like corners.
Yeah.
And please do that in a color. Notice I did it in a color, so I want you to do it in a color so it stands out to you. Alright, so that's kind of step 1. So you're going to plot your points, and then you're going to play connect the dots, and you're going to form a shape of some sort. Number 2, it says often there will be questions.
Hey, Miss Penny, you got 5 seconds, please?
Yes. You can see the like little doodles on there. You can color those for a few minutes. Okay. So often there will be questions related to the polygon. So one of those questions could be find what? Find the perimeter. Or area. Now, why are we not finding surface area or volume? Raise your hand and tell me. Why are we not finding surface area and volume? Alexa. Say it again. Exactly. So the grid is not 3D, it's a 2D, it's flat. So therefore, you will not be finding surface area, you will not be finding volume.
Wait, doesn't polygon mean like a 2D figure?
Polygon is a 2-dimensional figure, yes.
Okay.
All right, you know what? That's a good thing. So let's go ahead and just circle that with a color and just remind ourselves that a polygon is a 2D shape. Is it closed or open? Closed. How many sides does it have to have?
At least 3.
At least 3, right? Because if it only has 2, can it be closed? It can? No. At least 3 straight, if I could spell that'd be fantastic, straight edges. Alright. So you might have to, you might also have a question that says, find the length of a side, or find the base of a side, or just things that have to do with area. So now do you guys kind of understand why we're doing coordinate grid right now?
Yeah.
Because essentially we are going to be finding area and perimeter on these. Alright, so let's look at our practice problem real quick down here. So it says plot the polygon. So the first thing I want you guys to do is I want you to label your X and your Y, just because that kind of got cut off a little bit. So remember, your X is your vertical, and then your Y is right here. And then I do want you to plot your points with your pencil, but then I want you to go over it with a color. And I want them to all be the same color. Alright, so for A, plot your point, go over it with a color. B, plot your point, go over it with the same color. And C, plot your point, go over it with the same color. Give me a thumbs up when you have that done. Alright, we're not connecting dots or anything, we're just plotting those points and then a thumbs up. Alright, just do thumbs up. It's a little hard to stand in here. There's a lot of Alright, Ethan, tell me how or where I'm going to plot point A.
Quadrant 3.
So, how do I get there?
From the origin, you go to, on the origin of quadrant 3, you go to the left 4 spaces,
Okay,
and then go down 3.
so right there?
Yes.
Alright, so that is A. And you said this is quadrant 3. I love that you used that as your reference. Bless you. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and tell me how to get to B and where it is located. Cooper.
So it's in quadrant 4.
Okay.
It's on the 6 of X, and then you go across and it's on -3 of Y.
So I'm going to the right,
Yes.
and then I'm going down. Alright, that is going to be B. Alright, and then let me do, alright, Caleb.
Letter C is in quadrant 1,
Okay.
and you go over to the right 1 time, then you go up.
Alright. So now I want you to connect, excuse me, connect the dots.
It looks like an equilateral triangle.
Shh. Make it bold enough that you can see it. Now, we have to find the area. So what is the formula that we're going to be using? Jason.
Okay, the formula we will be using is going to be divide that by 2, and then we got the answer.
Perfect. Make sure you're paying attention. Alright, so how do we figure out what our base is? How do we do that? Alexa. Right. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So our base equals 10. So A equals 10 times, alright? What do we do to find the height? What does it have to be? What does it have to be? Has to be a certain type of lines with our base. You're not sure? Think about it. Yes. Talking to you. Jack, talking to you.
Certain type of, is it height?
So remember yesterday,
So the dotted
we talked about parallelograms. And what did those lines have to be? The base and the height? What do they have to be?
Oh,
They have to be a certain type of line in order to know that this base goes with this height. Don't tell them. I'm talking to you still.
I need to be equal, perpendicular.
Would, yes, perpendicular. So, which one? It's not rocket science, man. So, show me where I can find a perpendicular line on this. Tell me where to come down from.
Go from 5 to -8.
Dude, just tell me to go from the top. Just tell me to go from the top.
Go from the top to the bottom.
Go from the top. Perfect. Thanks, Jack.
How about the height on the
I didn't ask for what it was yet.
I usually just add them and then just say like for the bottom one.
Okay, I'm not asking for solving. I'm just asking for how, like, where.
Like where do you
Yeah, sorry, you can't really see my mic. That's bad.
can't see
I can see it. I can see it perfectly fine.
All right, and then obviously we are going to count that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yes, you are correct, my sir. Your height equals 8. And then you're gonna divide all of this by 2. So what is 10 times 8? Divided by 2? 40. So the area of this is what?
Unit squared.
Units squared. A couple of you guys missed a question yesterday because you did not put your, whatever unit it was, squared. You just wrote a number. All right, the last part of your lesson is to write a summary about the coordinate plane and finding polygons with area of perimeter. All right, I'm not limiting you to how many you can write, but I am telling you you have to write at least 3.
At least once.
At least 3 sentences you have to write. But I'm not telling you you have to write a maximum. Just if you write 3 and that's your summary, good to go, no problem. If you write 17, good to go, no problem, whatever. But you gotta write at least 3 sentences. You write a summary about what we talked about over here and what we talked about on here.
Honestly, I thought you said 30.
All right, now, please, 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 listen to this next part before you start writing. Put your pencils down so I know you're listening. You are going to glue this into your notebook this way, so that when you fold it in, it's not hanging out. I do not want this to hang out. You must bring me your notebook with your summary in order to get the practice problems. You have essentially 26 minutes before we go to exploratories, so hopefully you do not have homework tonight. Okay, that doesn't mean rush. If I can't read your summary, I'm gonna send you back to your seat and make you write it over. So take your time. You just have 1 page for homework or classwork, preferably classwork, but if it becomes homework, it becomes homework. But glued in, come show me, and then I will hand you your classwork. Okay? How many sentences do you have to have minimum in your summary?
At least 3.
At least 3. All right, go ahead, get started.